Hi, I'm Brian Richardson with Millennium Fire. This is a training video for Cal State Fullerton student housing. Today we're going to be going over the maintenance and operation of the overhead fire sprinkler systems, standpipe system, and pump controllers. So let's get started. First thing we're going to look at is a generic These are the generic system fire risers. These are the generic system fire risers. You're going to see these throughout the building. Right after this, we're going to go over the plan, and I'll show you exactly where all those are. So these are pretty generic, very simple. You have the main control valve here. This is the main water supply to an individual fire sprinkler system. Currently, and it should always be left in the open position, unless you are conducting maintenance or in case you have the event of a fire. In that case, the only person who should be closing this is a fire department representative or a trained and certified fire protection serviceman. Up here, this is the water flow device. This is what triggers the fire alarm throughout the building. When water flows through this, that's what triggers it. So this is the main water supply that you'll turn on and off. This is what triggers your fire alarms throughout the building. Up here, this is what we call the test and drain. This is for draining purposes as well as testing procedures which you need to do periodically. And what we're doing is we will be testing the flow rate and pressures periodically to ensure that the system is still within its design parameters. This is pretty much the generic system that you're going to see throughout this building. Okay? Now, I'd like to go to the plans here. The system, each floor is extremely similar, broken up into 4 systems, broken up into A, B, C, and D. You have system A, you have system B, system C, and system D in the middle here.
Let's clarify. A is Laurel Hall, B is Noble Hall, C is Redwood Hall, and then D is that, we call it Noble, but the knuckle, bridge, whatever you want to call it.
It's that common area in between all the wings. So the system risers for building, I'm sorry, what hall is this? Laurel Hall. Yep. Is going to be in this staircase here. The system riser for Noble is in this staircase here. System riser for Redwood is in this staircase here. And we're calling it D, the knuckle, this middle area here that connects them all. The system riser is in this staircase here. And they all look just like the one we went over. So very simple operation. And that's pretty much it for the overhead wet fire protection systems. Next up, we have the standpipe system. This main line here snakes throughout the building and feeds water to all other systems within the building. This is also the system in which the fire department will pull water from for their fire hoses throughout the building. Anytime anyone opens any of those valves, fire department, a flow switch here will indicate water flow and will set general fire alarm off. This goes all the way, it feeds every stairwell as well as multiple roof locations. That's your standpipe system here. Next up, we have the pump and pump controller. So we're going to keep this very simple here. This is our main feed that comes in from the underground. This feeds everything that we've seen and are going to see. Okay? Coming up, these 2 control valves are very important. This control valve here shuts down the bypass, the pump bypass that allows water into the system. This will shut down, in combination, if you shut both of these down, you shut down all the water to the building. This control valve here directly feeds the pump. So if you ever need to service the pump, you will close down this control valve. If you ever need to service the bypass or any other systems, you will close down this control valve. Okay? We have another control valve here. So in combination with these two, we have a check valve here, which does not allow water to backfeed into your underground. If you ever need to service this, you will close both control valves. That will shut down water, and you'll be able to safely remove this, clean it, service it, replace it, whatever you need to do. Moving on. Come back down here. Our main pump feed is here. It will flow through the pump. Again, we have another check valve here. If you ever need to service this check valve, you'll need to shut down this control valve and your main pump feed control valve. Okay? Next up is we have our test header. So during your testing of your pump, which you do periodically, you will need to shut down water to your overhead wet systems and standpipe. Open this control valve to allow water to flow through here, go through this gauge, and continue out to the exterior to your test header. You do that periodically to ensure that your pump still has the correct and adequate water supply to perform its job. Down here, this is our jockey pump. This jockey pump is here to maintain system pressure. If a sprinkler head goes off, this jockey pump will not be able to maintain system pressure, in which case the main pump will kick on. So what we have here is we have a control valve on the upstream side, and we have a control valve on the downstream side. What these are here for is if you ever need to service this jockey pump, you can shut down both of these valves and you'll be able to work on anything in between safely, and you'll still have your main system in operation. After that, we can come to the controllers. This here is the jockey pump controller. This thing needs to remain on at all times. It is automatically set to stop at the correct pressures to keep the system at this pressure. So it's designed to keep it at 104 right here. If this drops, it'll kick back on to get you back up to your pressure. It may kick on for a multitude of reasons, just normal pressure loss. If the sprinkler head goes off, this number right here, this indicates the PSI. It's going to drop dramatically, and this jockey pump is going to kick on. It is not going to be able to maintain this pressure. That's when your main pump kicks on. This is the main controller for the main pump. Okay? You have power switches here for normal power and your backup power that runs off your generator. So if the jockey pump cannot maintain pressure, this guy kicks on, and the main pump will get you back to pressure. And when that happens, all your general fire is going to go off, and it's going to indicate that you have some water flow. We have these control panels here. Everything is currently on and activated and live. So if you ever need to service these for any reason, to do your testing, or if you have any issues at your alarm panel and you're unsure, you need to contact a certified and licensed professional to come out and take a look at it. This is not something that we recommend you try to take on yourself, because any mishap or any kind of alarms will bring out the fire department. That concludes the training here for the overhead wet, standpipe, fire pump, jockey pump, and controllers here.
And then I guess the spare head box right over there, right?
Yeah. Sorry about that. So if you do have a fire out here and a sprinkler head is activated, you have a multitude of spare heads here. You have multiples of each type. That way there's absolutely no doubt that you're going to have the correct head to reinstall. And again, if this happens, you need to call a licensed professional to come out and conduct this work. In here we have a multitude of head wrenches and head sockets here for each style here, so you can install them correctly and without damaging the sprinkler head. I think that's about it.
Right on, right.
Question I have regarding the supply to the building.
Yes.
If we have a leak below, where's the shut off out in the street?
The shut-off will be the PIV
That side?
that's on that side.
Okay.
I can go there and show you that stuff. That's the underground contractor, but I can show you.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to know the location, if it's been back to this one or back on that side.
Yeah, it's going to be that side where the FTC and the backflow preventer is. It's right over there. So if you have an issue with the underground, that's where that's going to be.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Is there an order which we should shut off these shut-offs if indeed we want to shut the system off?
No. I always start from the farthest upstream and work my way down. So if you're trying to shut water off to the main, like everything, you're going to need to close both of these.
So doesn't matter which order?
Doesn't matter which order.
Okay.
Doesn't matter which order. This just feeds to the pump through that way. This just feeds the bypass. So the point of the bypass is in case your pump fails, you want a larger diameter pipe for your bypass to allow maximum water pressure. So everything's designed to have the pump back it up. But for whatever reason, your main power fails, your alternate power fails, at least you have a larger than required diameter pipe to feed everything. That's why they have that, just as a precaution. Any other questions, sir?
Nope, good.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian. Well done.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.